Welcome back to The Buzz on 82, the only show with a Down Valley view. I'm your host, Lynn Aliya, and this is the show I've been wanting to do since I started The Buzz on 82. I am sitting here with Banks Baker. He is the manager of operations for sustainable operations for the Other Side Ranch
in Old Snow, Mass, Colorado. And I brought you a chicken today from the ranch.
I got a chicken!
And I'm told it's the first one of the show.
The first one ever.
So good.
A chicken. So this is your chicken.
This is our chicken every single day of its life except for its first 2 days. We're on the ranch.
Oh, so I should be holding the chicken like this? How many chickens do you have?
We did 600 this year.
600 chickens.
600 chickens this year, and we actually process them ourselves, which is quite a bit of work, but it's kind of a way for us to keep the quality where we want it to be.
All right, so let's start at the beginning, because as I said, this
Sure.
is seriously the show I wanted to do, because I am this New York girl from Queens, sitting here with an urban guy from Pittsburgh.
No, kidding.
Right? Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like I'm still Jaja, Green Acres, and you are now, as we said, the
manager of sustainable operations.
So what does that mean? How does that happen? Tell me everything.
Okay.
You milk cows before I interrupt you.
Yeah, so I'll just give you like everybody kind of always is like, how did you learn how to do this? Because it seems like sustainable agriculture really has this cloak on it where people think it's something so different that they can't learn how to do it, or that it's so hard that it's too difficult to try. I went to a school in North Carolina called Warren Wilson College, and it was a work college, so I showed up, and part of the curriculum for graduation was working for the school. So students do anything from cooking and doing the dishes, which is I had to do there when I got there, to managing the forest, to painting the walls, to cutting the grass, to answering the phones. So I briefly, I worked on the farm there, and we raised our own grain, ground our own grain, bred our own animals, everything from start to finish, but very, very small scale agriculture.
And did you know this is what you wanted to do?
Not at all. Actually, of all my friends that I went to school with, I was the only one that said I wasn't going to be a farmer.
Oh.
I planned on going back to school and being in business.
Okay.
And I got an internship through our Environmental Leadership Center at Warren Wilson, and worked at Rocky Mountain Institute.
Ah.
And we were showing people how to rotate cattle out on, they have a 1,000-acre land preserve out there. So I did that, enjoyed it, loved it, fell in love with the valley, always wanted to live here again. And then I had a mutual friend, Doug Hill, who put us together.
That's right.
And said, Kate McBride's hiring somebody to manage her dairy. And I was kind of in limbo, figuring out whether I was going to go back to school or, you know, put on a tie and go into an office, what I was going to do, where I was going to fit. Came out here and started with the dairy.
And Kate McBride is...
Kate McBride, local ski legend, the McBride family.
The McBride family, exactly.
Yeah,
her brother's like the ski coach of Canadian ski team.
Pete McBride does amazing.
National Geographic.
Yeah.
Right. So this is her side of the ranch, and
This
that's
is
why
her
it's
side
called
of the
the
ranch.
other
That's why it's
side of
the
the
other
ranch
side.
in Old Snow, Mass.
And
how many acres?
Kate's ranch is a little over 180, and we have access to most of that. The main ranch is close to a little over 4,500. Yeah, it's gorgeous. But so we got there, and I was rotating cattle, which is pretty much if you have a large area of grass, you split it up into smaller areas, and those are called paddocks. And then once they graze out, once they take that as low as they're going to take it, as low as you let them take it, you move them on so that you only have a certain percentage of your pasture getting grazed at once, so that it gives it proficient time to regrow.
Right. So are you like a cowboy? Do you like ride horses to move your cattle? How do you do that?
No, we're really small. The dairy's only 9 cows right now.
So these are just dairy cows?
These are just dairy cows.
Okay.
I had some beef cows mixed in, and I'm thinking about getting into doing some small-scale Wagyu production, like Kobe beef production, but that's kind of on the...
And they're different kinds of cows?
Yes.
So you can't use a dairy cow...
You can. You could use a dairy cow for meat. Like a lot of the meat that you buy at the grocery store is a byproduct of the milk that you're buying. They'll have a cow and it's not a girl. So if it's not a girl, then it's a boy, and they'll castrate that male and raise him for beef.
Oh, so, oh my God.
Now there's beef breeds and there's dairy breeds, but we don't need to get into that.
All right, okay, but I didn't even know that. So
Yeah.
like steers are male cows?
That are castrated.
Okay, all right, well, yeah, because we got to get to the chicken.
Yes, so,
all right.
So anyways, I got there and I said, all right, now that we're doing the dairy, what else are we going to do?
So you milk the cows?
By hand. I still milk the cows by hand.
9
This morning,
of them.
I got there 3 now. because the other ones are going to be coming back into production
Okay.
once they calve out. Yeah, so I'm still hand milking. But we got to the point where we're flood irrigating because we're up here in the high Rockies, meaning that we flood our pastures with water because we don't get enough precipitation to make them grow. So
And you learned all this in college or on the road, and like
yeah,
you just keep learning
in
it?
college, and just before I do anything, I try to read everything that I possibly can about it, talk to other people. We're kind of unique because we're up here in the high Rockies.
Okay.
But this flood irrigation leaches nitrogen out of the soil because it's just constantly being flooded. I kind of explain it to people like if you had a tea bag, you know, when you first put it into water, it'll have a color to it, but eventually it'll just be regular. So that's why I started doing the chickens. So we have the cows and they get rotated through, and then when they get rotated through, I have these big portable coops that are popularized by Joel Salatin, who's a very famous farmer who's kind of really put sustainable agriculture on the map. And they're these big coops, and mine are different sizes, but on average like 10 by 13.
On rollers?
They've got wheels on the back.
Swivel casters?
No, they're just like little like tractor type wheels, like on a lawnmower.
Did you build this?
Yes, and they're 3/4 enclosed with chicken wire.
Seriously?
Yeah.
How did you know? Because you read this book.
Because I read this book.
Oh my God.
And so every single day in the morning, early in the morning, the chickens get moved onto fresh grass.
So I'm sorry. What time do you wake up in the morning?
In the summer, it's ridiculous. It's like 5:36.
Okay, keep going.
Now in the winter, it gets a little bit more reasonable because we don't have the chickens and we dial things down a little bit.
Okay.
But so we wake up, I move the chickens in the morning so that they have fresh grass. It's important to move them in the morning because the precipitation encourages them to eat more grass, which means that that's less of my feed having to come from anywhere else.
Wow.
So like 20 to 25% of their diet's coming from stuff the chickens want to eat, grass and broadleaf weeds and bugs and good stuff. And then the rest I get a custom grain milled for me, you know, Latha. That's all as close to Colorado as I can get. It's a corn-soy mix.
Okay. Is that okay?
It is. I mean, I'm not organic. I'm not organic because in order for me to be organic, I either have to buy an extruded meal, meaning everything's put into a big container, mixed up, baked, and then extruded and baked into like these pellets. Now it's organic, but it's from all over the place. Or I have to get it trucked in from the Midwest.
Right.
And I'm more interested in trying to produce food regionally.
Right.
What went into this was raised in Colorado. It was ground by a small family in Colorado.
Right.
And I think it's important to keep stuff regionally. Would I like to be organic? Yes. If I was in Virginia, would I be? 100%. But I just think it's not reasonable to pass that cost on when I don't agree with it to begin with.
Right.
So eventually maybe we'll get some closer sources for it. But anyways,
Go on.
the chickens, they get moved and they're on the fresh grass and they eat all that good stuff. And 20% of their diet about is coming from this grass. And then they move and they leave this really high nitrogen content feces, which is amazing. So when you can actually see these coops getting dragged around, you'll see a bright green strip from where they had been before. And it's funny because when you come back to that same area, you know, 2.5 months later, you'll see the cows want to go straight to that nitrogen-rich forage. And it shows you, like, I'm doing it right. It's working.
Right. Wow. So then what happens in 3 minutes? We have 3 minutes left.
Okay, we have 3 minutes left.
And we have to know where we can buy all your stuff.
So we process the birds ourselves under a federal exemption in a little barn, and it's a lot of work to do that.
And you're the only person who works up there?
I'm the only person that works up there. I've helped with the slaughter, but I'm the only one doing all this. We also have a Berkshire Hog operation. I got to get this in because they're probably my favorite part that we're adding on to the ranch. It's a Berkshire Hog if you and I were to go eat dinner at the Windsor Castle.
Oh, we have a picture of your Berkshire Hog. Yes, we do. Wait, here's the ranch.
That's the ranch.
Right.
And that is a Berkshire Hog. It's what they raise in Japan as their Kobe beef equivalent to beef. It's called Karaboto pork.
Okay.
And it's the oldest breed from England. It's what the Queen of England would actually feed us if we went to dinner there.
Wow.
And it has a marbling ability akin to a high-quality beef. And that's a little piglet that it had a rough trip. I'm on like 6 or 7 month waiting list to get these purebred Berkshire pigs. So when I get them, I have to travel fairly long distances to get them. And his sister actually got sick and passed away on the trip. and he had to live in my house with me, with the dogs in this little crate.
We have another picture, don't we, with Kate with us?
Yeah, and that's as soon as we got home. I was getting everything ready, and I put Kate in this really hot, heated, almost sauna room to heat him up, to get his body temperature back, to get him.
Oh, God.
But
wow, these are amazing.
he lived in my house for a full week. That's Susie, one of my favorite dairy cows. She's a predominantly Jersey cow. Just milked her, a couple of hours ago.
Do you have to milk the cows every day?
Twice a day, every
All right.
day.
All right, so in 1 minute, tell us two things. Okay, one, let me slow down.
Okay.
Where can we get the Other Side Ranch poultry and milk and dairy?
Well, the dairy I do all on, it's a 100% raw dairy. It's 100% grass-fed, hand-milked raw dairy, which means I can't sell it to anybody. You actually have to buy a portion of the cow. So if you're interested in that, you can go on the website, get our phone number, give us a call, and I believe we have some openings coming up. We had a waiting list for a long time.
Did you ever see that I Love Lucy episode when she buys a half a side of beef?
No. I wish I did.
She doesn't know what to do with it because it's a lot. And your website is the Other Side.
.us.
.us.
Yep. And then Farmer Jack Reed, he's got a little stand out here. I'm sure a lot of locals know Jack.
Yep.
He gets kind of the full gamut. I've got pork coming up that I'm hopefully going to have in Cloud9, and I also work with Rustique Bistro. So those are kind of the best places to catch us.
And then in the summertime,
the Basalt Farmers Market.
The Basalt Farmers
we're
Market.
there.
Okay, can I ask you a favor? I always ask people to come back and be on my show, but can I bring a camera and then teach me how to milk a cow?
Wouldn't that be great?
Yes,
Yeah.
and like we could do like a sustainable, like how to be.
Yeah, we'll do a whole day with Lynn Aliya on the farm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we'll get you some overalls, we'll put some boots on you.
Totally.
Yeah.
I could do this.
Okay.
I went to camp. I went to sleepaway camp. Oh my gosh. All right, because you have
got
to
get
come
you out
back.
to the ranch. You've got to see what we're doing. I'm real excited
you
about
do
the stuff we
tours?
do. I do tours.
I should have called the show Mentors.
That's what you should have. Well, you can still change it, right?
Yeah, no.
No.
So you do tours.
We do tours. It's just you got to give me a call and give me a heads up. We're trying to expand this next year, so hopefully it won't just be me doing all this. But
and is there a phone number that we can just call out?
Yeah.
927. Is that it?
No, let's just give my phone number.
Give your phone number.
412.
412.
576.
576.
6807.
07. And I will have it on my Facebook page. I'll have all the information. So make sure that you visit my Facebook page, The Buzz on 82, and also the Other Side Ranch.us.